This is Live from the Table, the official podcast of the world-famous Comedy Cellar, available wherever you get your podcasts. Available on YouTube, which is the preferred way to enjoy the podcast. You get audio and video. This is Dan Naturman. We're here once again without Noam. This is, you want to call it a bonus episode, whatever you want to call it. It's a Noam-free episode. He's, I think, on a cruise, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So I'm just here with Periel, and we'll talk about shit. And
Don't say just.
I'm here with Periel. And
Good.
And we are the only people here. And we'll talk about things, and it'll obviously, because Noam is not here, will be a much less politically oriented show than it normally would be. And speaking of, but just to address the Noam episodes, I did make a request for Susie Weiss to be on the show. Is that Barry Weiss's sister?
It is.
She wrote an article on Ozempic for the Free Press that I thought was interesting. So I wanted to discuss that article with, not Ozempic, but that class of drugs in general.
Okay.
What was it called? GLP-3, or whatever they're called. But I want to discuss, and she had wonderful things to say about it. She's on it, and she said it doesn't have any side effects, for her anyway. And the only side effect that she has is feeling good about herself, or something like that. That's what she said. So I do want to discuss that. I'm hoping that Noam won't steer the conversation into non weight loss drug matters, because that is really what I want to hit with her.
How come you don't want to talk to somebody who's like an expert in weight loss? Like, what's your angle here?
Well, we can talk with that too. But
like, are you interested in potentially taking this drug, or
no?
Also,
I just think,
hi. How is everyone?
Oh, did I not announce Periel?
I don't know.
I said I was here with Periel.
Yeah, I did. You're right.
Said that. And then you said, well, not just Periel. Well, because it's fine to talk with somebody else who's more on the science end of it, but I think it's also interesting to talk with somebody who's taking it and who's had great luck with it, at least for now. Who knows what the long-term effects might be, but for now she seems to be side effect free.
Now, are you
not for me, but
not
I
for
think
you?
I think I'm because for the first time in my life, I'm actually paying attention to matters of weight.
Right, that's why I'm asking, because I've heard you mention a couple of times.
But I would not take Ozempic, especially because we don't know what the long-term side effect profile is. Without flattering myself, I think I'm a long way from needing Ozempic. I would like to lose a few pounds.
Well, I think that there are a lot of people who are, quote unquote, a long way from needing Ozempic who are
taking it anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
it was meant originally for diabetes, or?
Well, I think so. And then, like a lot of drugs that they discover, it's meant for one thing, but it can affect other things. So, like Viagra, I think, was a blood pressure medication.
It was?
Like that. Yeah, it was something else.
Have you ever taken Viagra?
Never did. It was something else, and then it turns out it works also for that.
I thought all guys try Viagra at some point. Is that?
Well, I guess not all guys try Viagra. But no, I haven't. It
seems like a nightmare to just walk around with like a raging hard-on.
Well,
for
I don't
like
know if that's what
hours.
it does. Does it give you an erection if you're not otherwise aroused, or does it take your arousal? And some people get aroused, but they don't get erections. So this allows for you to get an erection when you're aroused. I don't know if it gives you one when you're not aroused.
That's interesting. I don't know.
But I think it's interesting because I think Ozempic, because if it does what it promises to do, it's revolutionary. It's the end of obesity, the end of even being overweight.
But it doesn't work for a lot of people too.
Doesn't?
Yeah, people have gone on it and said that like they have no
change. In their
no reaction.
All right. Well, even if it's 70% effective, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If it does what it promises to do, and it works for most people, and the side effects aren't too bad, it's a big fucking deal because obesity is a huge issue in America, especially, but in general. And it might, like I asked ChatGPT, if Ozempic does all that it promises to do, how much would it change the average lifespan in America? And it said, I mean, this may be correct, may not be, but it said about 2 years. That 2 years is a long time. That's a big increase in lifespan.
It is?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's a big increase. It's a big lifespan.
Doesn't seem like that big of an increase.
It's virtually overnight. If in fact, for that to happen virtually overnight with a new drug is a big deal. If it lives up to the promise. I mean, for lifespan to be increased that much in a short period of time is a huge deal.
I mean,
Average lifespan.
I don't know.
Well, it is. Lifespan goes up incrementally, steadily and incrementally. But for virtually overnight, we're talking about a new drug that's basically
is it a new
just came
drug?
Out. It's new for this.
It's new for this. So it was around, but now it's...
I don't know the history of it.
Okay, we don't know.
Susie Weiss probably does know. And so let's save a little bit for her. But I just want to give a little preview.
Okay.
And I'm hopeful that we'll actually discuss that. And we won't be discussing...
she's not coming on for a couple of weeks, first of all. So it's... Okay, let's see. What is this?
Since 2000. Well, nobody's... Okay.
Okay, so it's...
It was approved by the FDA in 2005 for the treatment of diabetes. But that doesn't mean it's been used for weight loss since that time.
Okay, so it's been around for 20. So we know very little about this, as it turns out.
Well, we haven't heard of it before a few years ago. Like
I haven't heard of it.
We know that everybody's talking about it, and everybody's on it. Not everybody, but many people.
I have a lot of friends who are on it who were thin to begin with and are now extremely thin.
Well, it's like people with reasonably sized breasts that get breast implants. I mean, some people are crazy.
No,
They don't need.
This is not that. This is not like some people who have reasonably sized breasts are getting huge boobs. This is like a lot of people who are not obese or even heavy are taking this because they want to be really skinny, and it makes you not eat.
But it's the same. It's the same mechanism. It's people that see themselves that aren't mentally healthy, and they don't see themselves the way they should see themselves.
You're saying so all the people who are taking this are...
No, I'm saying the people that you've described, people that aren't overweight that are taking it to be even skinnier, that's a problem.
Well,
it's also a problem when people get fake breasts that they don't need, which, by the way, I think is everybody.
Okay.
Unless you have a mastectomy. I think fake breasts is always a bad idea. I feel the same way about nose jobs in 99% of the cases. Maybe there's some exceptions.
You're really on fire today. I want to tell.
I just have certain ideas about plastic surgery.
I didn't know that you felt so strongly about.
Well, I feel very strongly because I feel very strongly because
Wait, slow down though. What about the breast implants? What, you don't like the way it looks? You don't like the way it feels?
I think small breasts are fine and big breasts are fine. They're both fine. They both have their place.
Okay.
And fake breasts tend to look fake.
Okay.
Maybe not in all cases.
Okay.
And nose jobs, even more so, tend to look fake.
Okay.
That's my problem with nose jobs. If you could get a nose job that looks exactly the way you want it to look, like a real nose, then maybe.
Maybe.
But but I can always tell a nose job. So.
Can you? I feel like we had somebody on the show not that long ago, and we had this conversation.
That I said that he or she, probably a she, had it?
I think so.
And you don't think that that's the case?
I think so. I think that wasn't...
You think they did not, and I thought they did?
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, I don't know. Whatever. Who cares about nose jobs for a second? Let's get back to boobs and Ozempic. I'm telling you that I think your read on what's going on with Ozempic is not accurate. I'm telling you that
what's my read?
That the people who are taking it are mentally unwell.
No. You said that there's people that are not overweight that are taking
it.
Those people, yes.
No, so I'm saying that's not, they're not mentally.
Those very specific people have some kind of issue.
No,
they want to be. You're saying they're not overweight, but they want to be skinnier.
The issue is that being super skinny is the thing that is valued in this country.
If you are risking your health, because the side effects...
But it sounds like you're not risking your health.
The long-term side effects are thus far... hopefully not bad, but we don't know for sure. And there are short-term side effects. If you're willing to take a drug to be skinnier than you need to be, then that's a problem.
But it's a cultural problem.
Well, maybe it's a cultural.
Tiana, you're a woman. Can you weigh in here?
I mean, it's partly a cultural problem, but you don't have to buy into the culture.
I mean,
you know?
sure.
It's so hard not to. Like, every train that I take has a GLP-1 ad. There's, like Periel said, like there's regular women, there's celebrity women who are on Ozempic, who are already skinny, and just they keep getting skinnier. And you're like, should I be that skinny?
This is like a phenomenon. You're bombarded with these images from the time that you're a little girl that this is what your bodies are supposed to look like. And now there's this, miracle drug, whatever you want to call it, that may or may not have side effects, but seems to, I don't know, makes you nauseous. It makes you this, it makes you that. But
Not Susie Weiss. She has no problems with it, but.
okay. All right. Well, you're going to have to tune back
Anyway,
in.
but to bring this back to me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm trying to lose a few pounds.
But you won't take Ozempic.
No, I'm not going to take Ozempic because there's side effects, and nausea in particular is a side effect I want no part of.
Oh, that's right.
And, I don't want to take something that might have long-term side effects, too, that we don't know about, to lose a few pounds.
Okay, I mean...
So I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, which is self-torture.
Devil's advocate for a second. Every medicine we take might have side effects that we don't know about.
Yes, but if I really need it, then I'll take it. I don't really need this. First of all, I'm not particularly overweight. I mean, look, I passed the threshold 160. That's what the weight, supposedly for somebody of my height, which is 5'7".
Yeah.
160 is the threshold of overweight.
Okay.
So that my gym at this, I don't have one at home, but the scale of my gym says I'm like 163 or 4. So
Okay.
I would like to get below 160.
Okay.
So
If you got up to like 170,
then I would be upset, but I still wouldn't take Ozempic.
What about 180?
Well, then maybe at 180 I might start thinking about Ozempic. Because 180 you might start having health issues too. So you have to balance, well, what's worse, the health issues of being that overweight versus the health issues of Ozempic. But then it becomes a judgment call.
I think that...
But for 4 pounds,
it's not...
which
worth-
was, by the way, is no mean feat to lose 4 pounds.
That's true, especially at our age. I want to tell you something else, though. I do think that were it not for the nausea, you might have a different attitude here.
Because as somebody who's as hypochondriacal as I am, does not want to deal with what if in 20 years we find out this causes all kinds of cancers.
Right.
So I mean, I guess it's been around since 2005, so we do have data, 20 years out.
But for people who have diabetes...
Yeah, but I don't know. Right, but the side effects wouldn't be any
comparable,
different.
you think?
Imagine, unless the dosages are different. Maybe diabetics take
I
different
think we need to have a doctor on here, not Susie Weiss.
Well, we can have both. We can have both. We'll have both. We could have both if we
Susie's
decide to have both. No, now I go on ChatGPT and I say, well, what's a good meal plan for me who's 164 pounds to lose, a few pounds?
Yeah.
And it had the nerve to say, for dessert, it gives me a meal. It says at breakfast, have like a cup of yogurt.
Yeah.
For lunch, have like some chicken or whatever, and a salad or whatever. And then for a snack, maybe have like, a serving of nuts.
Okay.
And then for dinner, whatever. And then it says, and for dessert, 2 squares of chocolate and like a raspberry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you even bringing that up then?
Just
don't even bring up dessert at that point. Now you're just being an asshole.
And did you say that to
No, because it's ChatGPT. If it was a human being, I would say, get the fuck out of here. Say, how dare you fucking come at me with 2 squares of chocolate? I'd rather just not eat dessert all year and then have an actual dessert every day on my birthday. To me, dessert, you don't...
What's a good dessert, Dan? What's like a good dessert?
A lot. That's a good dessert.
A lot?
Yes. To me, dessert, if you can't be disgusted with yourself, if you can't be like, barely able to walk afterwards.
I don't think I've ever
to eat a little bit of dessert to me is just a tease.
But I don't even think I've ever seen you eat dessert.
Now we're getting somewhere.
And
I've cut it out.
For years I've had meals with you, right? Like I've had so many meals with you. I've never seen you order.
Yeah, I haven't had dessert in a while. Dessert's like the first thing I started to cut back on, but that didn't work.
What do you mean it didn't work?
In terms of, I didn't seem to help weight-wise, but, but now I'm really, taking it more seriously.
You could have berries.
Yeah, I might have.
What's your favorite dessert?
Ice cream on cake with cookies mashed in.
Really?
Ideally, yes.
That's shocking to me. Do you have a favorite flavor of ice cream?
I used to work at a Haagen-Dazs ice cream parlor, actually. I enjoyed macadamia brittle.
Really?
By the way, macadamia nuts. I bought a bag of macadamias the other night. I feel, it's a healthy snack. It was more than the bag of macadamia nuts was more than a pint of Haagen-Dazs.
It's really
It wasn't
not.
that big a bag. It was like 60, because they give you the serving. They give you 180. First of all, why do they do that?
They give you like, it's
why
like
do you-
400 servings
But
in a bag.
why am I told why? Who gives a shit?
What do you mean?
How many calories are in a serving? Just tell me how many are in the damn bag.
Well, what if you don't eat the whole bag?
But I don't even know what a serving is.
Well, it tells you, doesn't it? So if there,
No, sometimes it does. Sometimes it'll say like a serving is like this many, but usually it just says a
nuts.
serving, and it gives you how many servings in the bag.
That's right.
So
you have
either
to count all the nuts.
So
in
just
the
tell me
bag.
how many in the damn bag, and then I don't. The math is the same.
I don't want to have to do math though.
You're doing math anyway, because if they tell you how many's in the bag and you want to eat half the bag, you have to do math. And if they tell you how many per serving to know how
You
much.
can eyeball it.
You're doing the same math. You understand? You're doing the same math. If they tell you it's 200 calories a serving and 5 servings in the bag, how are you going to calculate what a serving is? You have to divide the bag by 5.
Right.
If they tell you it's at 1,600, whatever they tell you,
How many
Either way, it's
macadamia
the
nuts
same-
did you eat? Did you
I
eat
had
the
about a
whole-
third of the bag.
See?
It's about 500 calories.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot.
So why not just get a fucking ice cream cone at that point?
Because I had already bought the macadamia and I didn't know that it was. Also, I think it's still healthier, even if it's.
I don't know. Macadamia nuts have a lot of fat. In
Yeah, but
them.
it's got to be better than ice cream, and it's probably better fat. You know, there's different kinds of fat. But
macadamia nut brittle is your. What's your favorite kind of cake?
Belgian chocolate. I like a mousse cake. Like a chocolate mousse cake. But yeah, I have been cutting down on desserts. Now, when I go on these cruises, so let's segue into cruises.
You don't have to say let's segue into cruises.
right.
You can just say
can
when
do it.
I go on the
I know
cruises.
I could,
and-
but I decided to do that, to mention that I'm segging. Yeah, cruises is all you can eat, including desserts, and it's difficult. But
And what do you?
and my appetite for some reason when I'm out of town, I don't know why, it just goes crazy.
You're hungrier.
I'm much hungrier. Yeah, I don't
Really?
know why that is.
And so, are you like gluttonous on these cruises?
Yes, but it's a problem if I'm going to because I have several coming up. So I'll
Okay, so walk me
I'll
through
try
it.
to cut back, but what I try to do is at least be healthy. Like, all right, I'll eat as much as I want, but I won't eat desserts and like breads and that and
Is there
pasta.
healthy food on?
Yeah, I mean, well, relatively, yeah. Sure. There's chicken and fish
Okay.
and vegetables. So
And you'll just gorge yourself on chicken and fish.
I have been, but maybe I'll try not to. But we'll see. Maybe if I can kind of get used to eating less on the cruise, it'll become easier. I don't know.
But also, I think that when you don't eat sugar, your craving for sugar subsides. I had no idea you had such a sweet tooth.
Well, most people I think have a sweet tooth.
No,
but-
I mean,
but-
I have a sweet tooth, but I know.
I have cut back seriously on desserts over the past several years.
Now, have you ever tried eating like a bunch of strawberries or something
Yeah,
like that
obviously.
instead? No, not obviously. Instead of
Well, they don't have that here.
dessert?
You usually only see me eating here at the cellar, and they don't have that option here. But
That's
I eat a
true.
lot of fruit, yes.
You eat a lot of fruit.
Yes. By the way, so I was coming back from Montreal, from the cruise. I did a cruise to Canada. We stopped in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Wait
Have
a
I talked
second.
about this?
I don't think so, but I want to tell you something. What episode were you not here for? We did an episode without you.
Man, I don't remember. Hami Kozak or something?
No. Just now. You were just not here. Like last week, the week before. And I didn't know that you were on a cruise. Nobody knew.
I wasn't on a cruise last week, maybe the week before.
Well, who was it with? Tiana, do you remember we did an episode that we couldn't find Dan for? And
Oh, right. That wasn't that Hami Kozak?
no, he was like weeks ago. And I was like freaking out, and everybody started to actually get really worried about you. Are you checking your text messages to see when?
I'm checking live from the table on YouTube to see what the episodes were.
Now, if you didn't delete all your
There was
texts.
Modi, Eric Newman.
Yes, it was that. Was it that one?
And then Matthew Cockerell.
Maybe.
Is that the one? Yeah. Matthew Cockerell, the guy, the guy that I guess he's partly Palestinian or something. But in any case,
where were you for the Modi Eric Newman?
I probably on the same damn cruise.
Anyway, we were very worried about you,
Well,
and then
you texted me and I said I'm on a cruise.
No, it took you a while to get back to me. It was just very out of character. Nobody knew that you were away, and I'm not saying that you didn't tell us.
I'm pretty sure I told you.
I'm not suggesting.
Well, from now on, if I'm not here, I'm probably on a cruise, or I just don't feel like coming in. But the likelihood is nothing horrible.
Do you remember that I was texting you and I was like, "Oh my God, we were so worried about you"?
To be honest. But anyway,
well, you should know that there were a lot of people who were
nice to be worried about,
concerned about your well-being.
And we went to Halifax.
How was that?
It's like we might as well gone to New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's like not interesting. I mean, maybe there's interesting parts of Halifax, but. I didn't. It wasn't immediately evident. You dock and it's like it looks like a small city.
Now, are there any interesting parts? What's the best part of the cruise?
The best part is when I'm done with my show, and I could just sort of I like just kind of looking out at the water.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm coming back home through Montreal, and so they make when you're in Montreal they make all the announcements in English and French.
You must like that.
No, I mean, it's not that interesting, but I figured there's got to be a joke in there somewhere. So I came up with this joke. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But I say, I'm not sure they make all the announcements in English and French because, it's a bilingual city. Some people speak English, some people speak French. But so I thought to myself, well, some of these announcements you probably wouldn't need to make in French as well. Because it's clear, so I figured, what if, you said, passenger Austin McIntyre, report to gate 27, and passenger Austin McIntyre, présentez-vous à la porte de 27. Because somebody named Austin is obviously not a French speaker. And then you could, add to it, if you want to translate for Austin, translate into Southern, say saddle up and, I don't know. But it would be even funnier, I think, is if it was Darnell, Washington.
Okay.
Because that's just funnier. But then you get into racial issues. Like I could say, you translate for Darnell, but then it gets really
you don't like veering into that territory when you're on stage, right?
Well, certainly not on a cruise. And this joke is designed for cruises.
Okay.
Because I typically don't like to tell jokes about airlines and airplanes in the city, though I do. I have one about Trans World Airways.
Yeah, it's a very funny joke.
It was you wouldn't name an airline Trans World Airways today, unless it was an airline for trans people, and then Anyway, but generally speaking, I don't like to do those kinds of jokes. I have an innate sense of those kinds of jokes veering into hacky territory. Maybe that's not even accurate. Mm-hmm. And a lot of comedians do talk about those things, but mainly I need jokes that I can do on cruises. And as many of them as possible.
Stop it.
What do you mean stop?
I mean, are there jokes that are only for cruises?
Well, I have jokes where I talk about the cruise itself, like that joke about how we stopped in Boston. Because I said last week, I mentioned this.
Yeah.
I said, because the name of the ship was the Island Princess. I said, is this the Island Princess or the Amtrak Princess?
Right.
And of course, I could do that on any ship. I just change the name of the ship.
Right.
So, yeah, I have jokes about
ship humor.
Like ship humor, you know, there's a running track. I said, I was on the running track. I did 5 miles on the running track. That's how far the boat went as I sat there. So that kind of stuff, that obviously I'm never going to do on land. And then there's jokes they're like my joke about, which I've talked about, my joke about how I have a meditation app and it's got an Indian accent and an English accent.
I love that joke.
Yeah, but I would never do it. And the punchline is, for those who haven't heard it, is, you would never have
just do the whole thing. Just do the joke.
I have a meditation app. So there's, an Indian accent. Close your eyes and concentrate. And the English app says, imagine a river. But you would never have a New York accent. Hey, close your freaking eyes, But it's just basic and easy, and and not only is it basic and easy, but other people have similar stuff. Not with like another comic actually has a joke about like you would never hear a pilot with a New York accent. Just jokes about New York accents being undignified and unreassuring. It's well-worn territory, but for a cruise, sure. I mean, I'm not looking to be interesting or unique on a cruise comedically. I'm looking to make the audience laugh and get the hell out of there.
So you're saying the bar
is low. The bar is low in terms of the kind of stuff that I do.
That you're willing, what you're willing.
Whereas here at the Comedy Cellar, I try. I don't say I succeed at it every time, but I try to. To me, a great comedian is a comedian where you hear the joke and you say, yeah, I can't imagine another comedian doing that joke. Either the way that joke, he does it, or the joke itself. It's not a joke I can imagine another comedian doing. That's my goal.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be sophisticated in its nature.
No, it doesn't have to be talking about weighty topics. Like, it doesn't have to be... Some comedians talk about weighty topics, and they're stupid.
Right.
They talk about... You can talk about a weighty topic in a dumb way, and you could talk about farting in a way that's complex. And though I try to avoid those jokes as well, but David Tell talks about. He doesn't talk about weighty topics. He's not weighing into politics. He's not weighing into, Mitch Hedberg never weighed into politically weighty topics.
Right.
He talked about waiting online at the restaurant for on the waiting list. Well, it's not a particularly weighty topic, but he did it in a way that was funny and interesting. Where he says like, when they announce the name and they're not there. You know that joke?
No.
He talks about how you're waiting online and they say, okay, the Dufresne and nobody's there. And he goes, and they go right on to the next person on the list. They're like, wait a minute, the Dufresne, what happened to the Dufresne? How can you eat at a time like this?
I actually have seen it.
It's not a weighty topic, but it's a topic. It's like a joke that might another comic come up with it? Maybe. It would be very uncommon.
But also, like, his delivery was so unique.
His delivery, I think he was greatly influenced by Stephen Wright, but I think he did his own thing and, with it. And his delivery, his kind of vocal quality, and his look.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what I strive for. So a joke about a New York accent in a meditation app doesn't meet that threshold. Well, another joke that I have is like, I took a girl, New York City women are high maintenance. They always order the most expensive thing on the menu. That happened to me just last week. The girl orders a Big Mac. Well, that's one of the first jokes I ever wrote. I still use it on a cruise. And, maybe if I'm performing, at a corporate event or something like that. But I would never, ever do that in the city. It just because it's a joke I wrote when I was a new comic, and it's a joke that anybody could come up with. It's not very difficult. It's not very complex. It's not very interesting.
Well, look, you could look at like a Mark Rothko painting and say the same thing.
I don't get Rothko either.
But anybody could come up with it.
Yeah, you don't see any Rothkos in my apartment. They're probably very expensive, though. Yeah.
Yes.
But but that's modern art. I don't get that. Maybe Rothko's a genius.
But I'm saying is like, I don't know. I've never heard like a joke like that Big Mac joke before.
Well, not that exact joke, but it's a fairly look. The fact that I was able to come up with it when I had just started comedy, doesn't immediately make it a bad joke, but you have to say, well, I was a very, very beginning joke writer, and if I could come up with that, it's probably not that sophisticated. That's not a hard and fast rule. I came up with some good stuff early on, but
I don't know. I think that joke has a little bit more complexity to it than on its face.
I don't know about that. But in any case,
Anyway.
In any way, but
and forget that joke. I think that the meditation app one is actually so funny. And I think the first time you told it to me, you said that like it was like a guy from the Bronx,
Well,
not just like a New York accent.
Either way. Well, you look. I'm not saying it doesn't do the job because it does.
Funny.
It does the job every damn time.
It's funny.
But it's just. The bar that I set for myself is
very high. Is very high.
Well, call it high, call whatever you want. It's just what it is.
Okay, so after you're done with your set, it's Saturday night, and then you can hang
Well, it's
for
not necessarily Saturday
for
night.
example,
Well, what it was is on this ship that I just did. I get on the ship. There's nothing the first night.
Okay, so are you
Next
enjoying
night,
yourself?
a little
the
bit,
first
but
night?
I still had the shows the next
Right.
night. 3 shows, half hour apiece.
Okay.
Once that's done, the next day I could just kind of relax and enjoy it. And then the day after that, I got off in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Not sure why they didn't send me home from Halifax, but
Where the
They
hell
could
is
probably-
Sydney, Nova
it's-
Scotia? How do you get home from there? You take
you
a
had to
fly?
go to Montreal. You have to go from Sydney to Montreal, because there's no direct flights to Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, of course not.
So that's when I got to Montreal, and I came up with that joke, which I'll try. Maybe I'll try it out because we're doing a show.
We are doing
on
a show.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that. You texted me, are you free this Thursday
Yeah.
to do a show at another comedy club? We won't mention it.
I'm trying to start doing a weekly show where, I don't know, just to like on the Upper West Side, just like a really great show where people can come and sort of do what you're doing, that they can do a little bit longer sets, but the show is,
How long is it?
well, the show's an hour.
Okay.
You can
How
do
long am I doing?
Well, however long you want. You want to do 15 minutes? You want to? I mean, like 20 minutes? I mean,
20,
there's a little
15 to
bit.
20,
Yeah.
I guess
So it's just
fine.
like
depending. I mean, if they're hating me, I don't know that I want to stay on for that long.
Well, I think that the idea is that they're not going to. Like, I feel like it's it's a curated selection. It's also self-selecting from the Upper West Side. Like,
Okay. All right. Well, who's on the show besides you and I?
Olga
Olga
Neimer.
Neimer, that's
Yeah. So
it's just us?
It's just the 3 of us. And I'm trying to build like some material and build like longer sets. So I figure it's a win-win for everyone. And hopefully it'll pick up. There aren't that many places to do like great shows uptown. So hopefully like I'll create like a little world up there that,
Well, but how does this differ from any other show?
which first of all, it's shorter. So it's not going to be 5 comics. It's going to be in, an hour and I don't know what.
An hour and a half
Yeah.
generally is how long.
So the idea is that it's short and tight, and the doors will open a little early so people can come and have a drink. And if it's fun, and we'll start it up again in the fall.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll try out some new stuff.
Yeah, you can try out
Do
some new stuff.
The Montreal thing. See if it works.
So at that show, you're willing to do your Big Mac
Yes,
joke?
because
Or
no, not the Big Mac.
No, that.
No, because there's no point. Either I'm trying out a new joke that
Yeah.
I'm hoping to use on a cruise,
Yeah.
or they're jokes that they're my New York City jokes.
Okay.
But there's no point in doing a joke that I know works, so I don't need to try it out.
Right. That's not fun.
That's not a New York City joke,
Right.
and that's not and that's not So there's no need for that.
Okay. I think the idea is also that it's enjoyable. Like, it's fun. Like, you get to kind of not be stressed out, right?
Right.
Because
Okay.
you've said in the past
Yeah.
that
Well, not in the city typically.
right, not in the city. You've said that like when we do shows that like you're not stressed out. You generally enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I
and-
mean, yes, right. Like here at the Cellar, because it's my it's
You feel
my-
comfortable.
Yeah, it's my home.
Yeah.
kind of, sort of, I guess.
I think it's safe to say that it's your home.
Well, I guess. Yeah, and so anyway, so we'll be working together for the first time in quite some time
In some time, yeah.
as comics.
Yeah. What else is going on that is on your mind these
Well, I've
days?
switched from tap texting to swipe texting.
What is that? What does that even mean?
Well, when you text, you can either tap it letter by letter, or you can just swipe it. You leave your hand on the keyboard, and you move it
No.
from
What
letter
kind-
to letter.
what kind
you
of a
don't know how
phone
to
do
do
you
that?
have?
Tiana, do you know that? What that is?
What kind of a phone do you have?
Any kind of phone. It's like instead like you okay, whatever.
I'm sure this is fascinating for listeners.
Sorry. No, because I'm getting text. You maybe pick up my phone. I'm getting text.
I didn't make you pick up your phone. I'm asking.
Well, you maybe because you asked me what swipe texting was,
But-
and so I take out my phone. I got text from my sisters
What you
because
want?
we're dealing with my mother. You know, so yeah. So like I want to say, like see the. So
I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah, you
Doesn't
can
it-
just go from the T to the H to the E.
Okay. It doesn't
that
it like
did- well, that did
autocorrect? I mean, like.
So it's pretty good, but sometimes it fucks up.
Okay. Enough of this.
But you can go faster that way.
I didn't know that was a thing that
that's-
every word doesn't come out wrong.
It's pretty good. It's pretty. You have to like double kind of take one look at it before you send it.
You have a mishigas with texting too, is that you don't like keeping any of your texts in your phone, right?
I delete them. Yeah, it's like the opposite of being a hoarder, I guess. You know.
You delete it's
And you know,
don't be so like casual about it. You don't you delete them like immediately.
Yeah,
like,
I delete them if I need them. If there's information that I need, I'll take a screenshot. But otherwise, I delete it. Yes, there's no text in my phone.
It's so insane.
I don't know that it's insane.
It's insane. Tiana?
I don't know. It's a little up and down for me.
Well, I don't know that it's that insane. Like, you know, a lot of people have an issue with if there's like a little, you know how like you'll have like a little number on the app, like if there's like you have a new text,
yeah.
and sometimes it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
That drives a lot of people crazy.
Yeah. Does that drive you crazy?
Yes. but it also drives other people crazy.
Do you delete emails?
Yeah, I'll leave those too. And if I need them, I'll keep them. But
how do you know if you need them?
well, I can always search the delete file if I really need. It hasn't been an issue. Thus far, it hasn't been an issue. If I really need something badly,
photos?
I have photos. But
Do you delete those too? Because you said you take a screenshot.
Yeah, I'll delete it when I no longer need it.
Because I was like,
If you give me your address and I have to meet you, I'll take a screenshot of the address and I'll meet you and then I'll delete, you know, unless I plan to meet you again. But if we're meeting at, like, say, you meet me at this restaurant, you know, whatever, and I need to know the name of the restaurant, I'll take a screenshot. And then when I've met you, when I get to the restaurant or after, I'll delete the
okay,
screenshot.
look, if I go into like our text history, I have years of.
Yeah, but why do you need that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why is it bothering me? Like if I need,
I guess it doesn't bother you. It bothers me. I don't like it.
I know.
Okay,
But then I'm like, oh, do you? I sent you that, and you're like, well, it's gone.
yes,
You run the risk always. It's a high risk.
But I'll screenshot it if I think it's going to be something that's necessary. I don't know. I don't know that it's that crazy. Well, maybe it is crazy because I'm the only one that does it, as far as I know.
What? Okay. What about what's going on with this Epstein thing? We were.
Well, the Department of Justice has said what I've always said, that there is no list. There is no list of that everybody was trying to, hush, and that he died by suicide.
You've
I guess we can
always said
say that he.
this?
Well, I don't know if I always said it to you.
No. I'm not disputing
I
it.
always thought that his death was a suicide.
And you never thought that there was a list. These are questions.
I never really thought there was some damning list with all kinds of, maybe there's a list somewhere, but I never thought you'd be like, Clinton, and I never thought there were all these like high profile, important people that were trying to silence him. No, I never thought that.
It's not like a black book, like sort of like Heidi
He might have
like,
something like that, but the idea that like the Clintons and all these people having sex with underage girls, no.
You didn't think
no.
that was true?
No, I didn't think that was
What were all of these people doing on this island with
I don't know what they were doing on the island. I don't think they were fucking young underage girls.
Okay.
I don't think that our whole government's pedophiles. No.
Why?
As many people seem to. And I think that it's hard for large groups of people to keep a secret. So
Okay.
I generally don't believe in conspiracy theories.
Okay. Is this considered
also,
a conspiracy theory?
Yes. That he died, that he was murdered, and it's been covered up is certainly because how many people would have to be in on that? If some big government, like the Clintons or whoever, tried to have him snuffed out, and no, I don't think so. And
why did he kill himself?
well, wouldn't you? The guy's fucking in prison. He's likely going to be in prison for the rest of his life, given the charges that were.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there are lots of people. Look at people get off. Rich and powerful people get off all the time. No pun intended.
All right. Well, they typically not for this.
What do you mean? What was it? What were the charges? I don't even
What was
remember.
it? I mean,
What were the charges?
for I don't know, underage sex or something. Or,
Okay.
whatever the charges.
I mean, look
were.
at Diddy.
Yeah, well, if I were Diddy, if Diddy killed himself, I wouldn't be shocked by that either.
I don't know.
But Epstein's not the kind of guy that felt like going to jail for however long. And he was humiliated and disgraced, and
I don't know.
people in jail kill themselves.
I mean,
It happens.
go ahead, Tiana. That's helpful. Jeffrey Epstein faced multiple charges related to sex crimes over the years, culminating in a federal indictment for sex trafficking before his death in 2019.
Oh, it's been that long. Wow. I didn't know it was that long ago.
I mean, sex trafficking
Sex trafficking of minors.
and conspiracy.
That's a big fucking deal. All right.
And
I mean,
But why didn't he wait a little bit longer to see if, how long was he in jail for before?
I don't know. What's the difference? He wanted out.
I am not a conspiracy theorist, and I am not buying the fact that this guy killed himself. It just it doesn't fit the narrative. And where's that minute? There's
have you ever heard of a guy
minute
Yeah.
of tape
Yeah, apparently
that
there's
has
a missing.
mysteriously disappeared.
Well, yes. Well, I've been told that when they reset the tape, that can happen. I don't know. I suspect there's an explanation, and I suspect the explanation is not a conspiracy, and he was murdered, and
People get murdered in jail all the
yeah,
time.
and we know about it, and we don't rule it a suicide.
He was in custody for 36 days.
36 days.
so,
I mean, why not
who-
go to trial? Roll the dice. See if you get found guilty or not.
All right, that's a point of view. Or the other point of view is he was disgraced and shamed, even in the best case scenario, and and people kill themselves for for lesser things.
Certainly they do. Certainly.
And should we give him the courtesy of saying he died by suicide?
I've thought about that. I mean, I'm not really.
Or just
that,
say he offed himself.
I mean, I'm really not that committed to.
I generally say die by suicide
Yeah, that's
rather
what.
than committed suicide.
Yeah, that's. I think that.
But whether should we
nice.
extend that courtesy to Mr. Epstein?
I'm not really sure we're extending any courtesies to Mr. Epstein, even though they do say you shouldn't speak ill of the dead. That having been said, I also, why aren't you more skeptical of all of these people that were spending time on this island?
Because I don't believe a bunch of high-profile people are fucking little kids. And
First of all, it wasn't little. First of all, wait a second.
Or
It wasn't-
underage minors.
Okay, so
You think
15, 16?
Yeah, I don't think so. And we don't. And it's somehow. And because first of all, I don't think there's who's supposedly on that list that people were thinking like very very high profile people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Bill Clinton was fucking children.
It's nobody's saying children though. That's not
Minors are children.
No, children are prepubescent.
Well,
we're talking
all right,
about
we're
teenage.
splitting-
We're not splitting hairs. We're not. I'm
It's an odd turn of phrase, by the way, given the topic. But but
I'm done.
yeah.
Listen to me. We're not. We're not.
Well,
talking,
to me, that's a child. But however you want to define it, I don't think so.
Did you see that movie? There's a documentary. It's like a 3 or 4 part
I don't-
documentary.
Yeah,
About Epstein and these young girls.
Well, yeah,
but they're not 9-year-olds. They're 15.
Well, Epstein was doing it apparently, but I just don't think that all these high-profile people that were going to this island to
what were
fuck
these
minors.
people? What
I
were
don't
these
know.
people doing on
I
the
don't know.
island?
I don't know.
Well, it's a legitimate question.
I don't
You can't
think
get
Prince
mad.
Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell.
Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell, Chris Tucker, Lawrence.
Maybe Kevin Spacey.
Well, I mean, wasn't he?
Lawrence Krauss, the physicist. Can we get him on the show?
We can try. Don't ask him about this though. Scroll down a little bit to that little black book. contains thousands of names, including celebrities, politicians, business people, and royals, including.
And by the way, Noam brought up a good point. If he had such a list of why didn't he say, hey, if anything happens to me, there's a list?
Well, who knows that he didn't say that?
Well,
maybe he did say that, and maybe that's why he was killed.
Well, then where's the list?
I don't know. Maybe it's being hidden. It seems like a lot of very powerful people have a really serious incentive to have their names kept off this list. You look like I might be convincing you a little bit.
No,
here.
because I don't believe all these powerful people can keep that a secret. I just don't believe in big groups of people able to keep a secret of this magnitude. That's why I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Define
secret, though.
That there's nobody's coming out and saying, yeah, I was on the island and so, yeah, so-and-so, actually, I saw Clinton, he was fucking a little kid on the island. Nobody's coming out with it. There's no...
Nobody's coming out with it?
Nobody's saying that, They're
just saying that they were on the island.
Nobody's saying, yeah, I was 16, I fucked Bill Clinton. Nobody's saying that either.
Okay.
All right.
Were any of these people
nobody's
killed?
saying, yeah, I was the pilot on the plane, and they were fucking kids on the plane. Bill Clinton was getting blowjob from it.
Listen, look, I don't know that any of this is holding up. Like we're making like a lot of assumptions here. I'm not saying that it's not possible.
And the Department of Justice is in on it. Now they said there's no list, so they're now part of the conspiracy.
Maybe.
So,
I mean,
and nobody in the Department of Justice is saying, yeah, they told me to keep my mouth shut, but I can't keep my mouth shut. I got to say something.
Well,
no one's saying that?
Let's see. The story just broke today.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
We might have to revisit this on another...
The same reason I don't believe there's a cure for cancer that nobody knows about. Isn't that the one that... Was that the one that we had the woman on here that believed that... Remember we had that woman on here? And
no one gets so enraged when people believe in conspiracy theories.
But anyway, yeah, I don't... But Mel Gibson was on Rogan saying that ivermectin or something, whatever, can cure stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
And Rogan didn't push back.
Uh-huh.
And...
Are we taking, advice, medical advice?
Well, I'm saying a lot of people believe that.
Right.
Especially if Rogan's having the guy on and not pushing back, and at least from the clip I saw on YouTube, maybe he pushed back and I didn't see it.
What do you think Rogan has to say about whether Jeffrey Epstein...
I don't know. He's probably skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably skeptical. A lot of people, on YouTube, on Twitter, rather, I still call it Twitter, a lot of people...
Are skeptical.
Are very skeptical. People that we know,
that they think that he was killed.
That there's, yes, and that there's some list that's being covered up.
It's not like that out of the realm.
Well, is it possible? Sure, but I don't believe it. And that's where I stand. And
okay, what do you guys think? Write in and tell us how is Jeffrey Epstein killed?
I mean, Rogel said something very funny on Facebook. He said, there's no list, and Epstein killed himself. Signed Epstein's mother. Now, you'd only get that if you remember Welcome Back, Kotter. Do you remember Welcome Back? You're laughing, so I assume you remember.
I don't remember.
Well, then why are you laughing?
Because it's funny. Because it's a very funny Jewish mother joke. I don't think you have to know.
Well,
Welcome
because
Back,
in the
Kotter.
series Welcome Back, Kotter, Epstein was this Juan Epstein, the Puerto Rican Jew.
Oh, that's funny.
He would always get letters from his mother. Please excuse Juan. He was sick or whatever. Signed Epstein's mother. But the funny part was that she signed it Epstein's mother. It was obviously not her.
Right.
So that's
so that makes it even that
okay.
makes
So
it
I
very
guess it's
smart.
Yeah. So, but it's a reference from the 70s that the average person wouldn't.
But it's still funny.
But so it's still funny even with that because I wasn't thinking that if you didn't get the ref, but you thought it was funny anyway. So
well, it is funny because it seems like a very typical thing that a Jewish mother would say.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, I guess so.
Okay. What else?
You found something online that you brought to my attention about this couple in jail that got pregnant, but I couldn't find any independent verification for that beyond what you sent me. So.
Well, what are you working for Snopes now? What independent?
Yeah, because when I read a crazy story,
but now's the time to pull up the phone and pull up the story.
When I read a crazy, I might have deleted it actually.
Oh my God.
No, it's right here. It says here, 2 inmates conceived a healthy baby without meeting using an air vent, bedding line, and yeast infection applicator.
Yeah.
So apparently he, according to this, Two inmates at Miami-Dade's Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. They used bedding tied into a string dropped through a shared cell vent. The man wrapped semen in saran wrap, passed it through the vent line, and Daisy retrieved it using a yeast infection applicator to inseminate herself. Okay, fine. Conceivably possible. But I don't see any independent verification other than this Instagram post.
Well, I mean, it may.
It just says news.
So you're skeptical of
Well,
this
I just don't have any independent verification of it. You have to be an intelligent consumer of news.
That's true.
Especially in the modern era where anybody can say anything, anybody can use AI to create photos and videos too. So you really have to be.
You have to be on your toes.
You have to be on your toes. Ideally, most people aren't. Most people just want to believe anything. But, so I don't know that this is true. It's probably. I think it's possible. I think
they did it over and over again. Yeah, sure. You can take semen.
Like semen outside. Like, how long does semen live in a saran wrap bag?
It depends how hot. I think like the temperature probably affects it. I mean, you have to be pretty quick about it.
Yeah, so
I mean, I'm not talking from personal experience, but
I guess it can be done, but it's I don't know.
And now they have this baby.
Well,
and they're both in jail for murder.
According to that not so
reputable source. Okay. Okay. What else is on the docket here?
Well, you have a list there.
You wrote a list
on your.
I'm trying to be a little bit more elegant about it than to just like be picking things off the list. But I guess
comedians do that on stage. They got lists up there.
You don't do that.
I don't do that.
What do you think about
that?
It. You're not against it.
In certain contexts, if it's a Friday night show at the Comedy Cellar and you're not Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is a little bit different because they're so happy to see Dave Chappelle, and they probably enjoy that he's looking at his notes because they're getting like, ooh, this is behind the scenes. Dave is crafting new jokes and looking at his notes. I don't know does Dave do that actually?
I've never seen it.
But if he did, I think the audience would. I think the audience enjoys it when it's somebody big.
Yeah.
Because like we're in on this process of writing jokes.
I've never seen Dave look at.
He might not do it.
Yeah, I mean,
but if he did do it, I think the audience would kind of enjoy that aspect. Like, ooh, this is something that not everybody gets to see, the actual process.
Okay.
Of Dave Chappelle writing jokes. For me to be doing it, no. I typically don't do new jokes here anyway.
No. But this is actually very interesting. A very interesting thing, because a lot of comics will have like. Some notes that they are not trying to pretend that they're not looking at, right? It's not like you have notes that you're...
They just have a notepad and they go and they look at the note and then they do the joke.
And do you think that's like...
as I said, I think if it's Chappelle or somebody that, somebody famous, I think I think the audience actually gets something out of it. I think it's actually a value added. For everybody else... I don't think. I don't know. I don't know that it's bad. Look, I'm not an audience member, so does it detract? You'd have to ask them, I suppose. My sense is that for regular comics that aren't famous, that aren't dropping in to do their new set because they're hosting SNL or whatever, or they're working on the new Netflix special, I think it's probably best not to here at the Cellar. I don't think it's horrible.
You should. You should have everything committed to memory.
Look, for me,
I'm just asking your opinion.
For me, I don't do new jokes here very often anyway, like completely untested. If I've tested it and I'll do a joke that's like the second or third time I've done it and it's not 100%, polished. I'll do it here, but generally speaking, usually I won't do a new joke here because I'm just anxious, quite frankly, about doing new shit here.
Okay.
Because it's a full house, And I feel like there's expectations. This is the Comedy Cellar. It's the club has a certain reputation, and I want to do a good job, and so I don't do that.
But you don't do that when you go to other clubs either. I've never seen you take out a notepad in my life.
That's true, but I'm not. But I would. But I usually don't have that many new jokes to do, so I don't have a whole long list. Because even in a situation where I'm doing new jokes, I'm not going to do more than 2 or 3.
Okay.
Because I just don't think the audience wants to hear me do a whole set of new jokes.
I don't know. If they're funny. They probably do.
Well, but I don't know that they're going to be funny.
Right.
And I'm taking a risk.
Yeah.
So I'll take a risk with 2 or 2 jokes, 3. I'll do one. If it doesn't work, maybe I'll do another. If that doesn't work, no more new jokes. Because I want the audience to get, a good set, even if it's not at a club that's quite as prestigious as a Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
The audience still deserves a show. And so there's not that many new jokes that I'm going to do. I don't need to write them down. But some comics, they have a whole, they're working shit out. They're working out their new hour or whatever, so they have a whole thing,
You have to commit it to memory. That's
Plus, I'm like the waiter that tries to, the waiters that don't write anything down because they,
Yeah.
Because I don't know because I guess they're trying to prove that they can remember everything.
No, that's insane.
But I have kind of the same thing. I'd rather just remember it.
And how long does it...
Generally, I don't have any... There's no written evidence of my jokes. I don't write anything down.
You don't write anything down?
No. So, if I come up with an idea, I don't write it down.
Wait, you don't have, your jokes typed up or...
No. There's no record of these jokes.
Like Epstein.
I guess, yeah. There's no written record of any. The only time I'll write shit down...
Dan...
If I have to... Yeah, go ahead.
That is insane.
Well, I just started doing it, and then I just figured...
But also because you're a writer. It's not like...
Well, I write... If I'm writing other things like scripts, then, well, obviously I'm writing that down.
No. But you're a writer. You're also a writer. So I would imagine that... so you work everything out verbally?
In my head. And then I do it on stage, and then if it doesn't work, I'll try it a different way.
But you're not worried you're not going to remember, part of it or something?
Well, that's possible. I may have 20 amazing minutes that I forgot. I don't think so. But, yeah. Because at this point, it's just like a point of pride, not writing shit down. There's no reason not to write it down. I've been doing it this way for so long, now I'm I like to be able to say I don't write anything down.
You know what? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You could write stuff down and still say you don't write anything.
I could,
down.
but then I won't. I'll know I'm lying. But
Very Jay-Z of you, Dan.
Jay-Z.
He doesn't write his lyrics.
Oh, he doesn't write his...
No, he goes right into the studio.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good enough for him. I don't know much about Jay-Z, but I've learned something. But
okay. That's actually fascinating.
Well, I don't know, fascinating.
No, it is. It's I'm surprising too.
But I will, when I do write things down and say I have to, I'm auditioning for something I haven't done in many years, audition for Letterman, which isn't even on the air anymore. Then I'll write down the specific jokes that I'll, because you have to have very specific. If I'm doing like a Letterman set and they approve certain jokes, well, then I'll need to know what those jokes are. And I want to make sure, that I do those jokes. And then of course, in the old days, we used to, when I used to do talk shows, because I used to do them kind of regularly. And now I haven't done one in a long time. Michael Cox from The Tonight Show, wants nothing to do with me for whatever reason. But, you would give them keywords, and they would put it on the teleprompter.
Right.
So when you go out, and you'd have the keywords there. So it would just be like, date McDonald's.
Right.
And then I would know, that was what the joke was.
But
so you would have to email them the bullet points. So in that case, I would write shit down. I write keywords down.
Keywords.
Yeah, or if I'm doing a cruise, so I have to do 30 minutes clean and 30 minutes late night show. So I'll try. I need to organize it better, because normally I just go about stage and the jokes. I'll just do jokes as they come to me.
You don't have.
I don't plan it out. No. But if I have to do all clean, then I need to plan it out better, because, and and then yeah. So
You're
those are
telling
great.
me you get on stage.
Yeah,
to
I
do-
kind of know how I'm going to start, and I kind of know how I'm going to end, and then the rest is just,
as it comes
it
to
comes,
you.
you
That
know.
is remarkable.
But
What about-
unless, again, if they tell me you got to do, 30 minutes all clean and then another 30 minutes, then I might have to organize it a little.
What about when you did your special? Did you?
Well, yeah, the special, yes.
Okay, so you,
And I gave them bullet points, actually, I think, I remember correctly, to put on the teleprompter.
okay.
But anyway, yeah, I haven't done a talk show. I used to do them all the time, like at least once a year.
Uh-huh.
Letterman, and I did Kimmel a couple times, Letterman like 4 times, Conan in various incarnations because he had
It's amazing.
different shows. He had the TBS show, and he had the Tonight Show for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I did.
It's
And
incredible.
And then they just stopped. Like, just like, all right, no more of you. I mean, they don't.
No.
It's not
I
that.
hate it when you do that.
Well, they did.
Well, okay, but like
I'm
you
just
say
saying.
that you say that like
You
it's
want-
like not some. This is like something that's like variable. This is dynamic. It's like it stopped. It doesn't mean that it can't start.
Well, first of all, those shows don't mean what they used to be. Number
Okay,
one,
that's a different
you can get a lot
conversation.
more hits. You can get a lot more views on TikTok than you could, potentially.
That's a different
yeah.
conversation. That's a different
So
point you're making.
But 2 things happen. Number one, those shows don't have the same meaning, and number 2, they just stop using me. That's it. I mean, I don't understand
I
why
just
you're.
don't because I don't like
That's
it
just what
when-
happened.
But okay, fine. And then, but you really don't put your stuff up that much, if we're being honest, right? Like you don't have like.
But that's a separate topic. We're talking.
no, because you said like, oh, well,
I'm
you could put
saying
it on TikTok.
Yeah, but I'm saying like those shows, you could get more hits.
I mean, I can say that if you use
Yeah, I'd rather
social
do the
media
Tonight Show
more,
than not do the Tonight Show.
But if you use,
But I'm not doing the Tonight Show.
But if you use social media more
Well,
and you put
yeah.
your stuff on there more, then people would see you more, and you probably would do those shows because that's how the world works now. You get mad at me when I say that.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I know we've had this discussion about the algorithm and if you post regularly and this and that, and I don't know. That could be. It could be.
That's all I'm saying. That like there's not like some
But then
guy sitting in the sky pulling the strings. Like you have like a decent amount of control over this too.
Yeah, I really don't know. If I don't know that would you. I know that you're saying that if you post regularly, the algorithm kicks in a way
Absolutely.
that you'll get.
I mean, I'm not making this up. This
I
is
understand that, but
verifiable.
well, maybe.
No, not maybe. This is a material fact.
I just think right now it's just there's so much stand up out there on these platforms, and
Okay, and
and I think that the stuff that does tend to go viral is stuff that
you don't know.
right wing conspiracy shit or left wing.
You don't
shit
know. It's not true. Look at that Haktua girl.
Well, Haktua, who could have predicted that?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm not a pretty young girl going Haktua. Yes, I mean I would have. That didn't surprise me that went viral.
But
quite
I'm
honestly.
saying that I'm maintaining.
Well, yeah, anything can happen, but
It's not that anything can happen. It's that if you post regularly.
I don't know that that's necessarily the case.
Tiana, I'm begging you to help me out here.
It's not magic formula.
That's
Not
exactly what I'm
everybody can't
saying.
have a huge following, and everybody can't have.
You're not everybody.
Well, I don't know that whoever is watching is in the TikTok audience. That that is a consumer of TikTok videos is my necessarily ideal
And
demographic.
Instagram.
And Instagram.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you.
Well, I don't know. But whatever. The point is, we were talking. I wanted to talk about talk shows.
Okay.
And you brought it to something else.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about talk shows.
I don't do them anymore. And that's just a fact. Now,
Okay.
And yeah, so
That's it. That's what you wanted to say about talk
I
shows?
guess so. I guess I
Okay.
thought I had more to say than that.
I think we're almost out of time.
We're not almost out of time.
We're not almost out of time?
No, because We're almost out of shit to talk about.
No, we're not. We have other things.
Well, what
to
else
talk
is on the
about.
list? There's nothing else.
We were talking about New York City. I have a.
Oh, right.
Don't worry about the list.
Oh, the weather.
The weather. We were
Because
getting.
the weather's been horrible, but I think it's horrible. Is it worse this year?
It's pretty hot, but it was.
It's.
Do you hate the heat?
I don't like mugginess. I like warm. I like warm, 75 and breezy, or even 80.
Okay, but it's never that in the summer in the city. You were
So
saying that New York is disgusting.
it
And
is
why would
disgusting.
anybody live
Why do we
here?
live here? Yeah, it's a valid question.
Why do you?
I mean, I
here?
live here because, first of all, inertia, because moving is annoying, because my mother lives in the area, and because I do clubs here. So that's what I
Is
live.
there some place else that you would?
I mean,
consider,
I mean, Southern California. If I had work there,
you would move to California,
I mean,
to LA.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Although people complain about that too. They complain because there's it's on fire half the time, and and there's traffic. But
The traffic is something people complain about, and it
I'll
is.
tell you one place I'm not going to be moving is Austin. A humid subtropical climate. Reclassification, huh?
And yeah, New York has been named subtropical, so we're like almost the Caribbean, basically.
That's interesting. But not only in the summer, obviously.
Is that because of climate change?
This was made by the U.S. National Climate Assessment.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, reflects
Well,
the city's warming temperatures and
but-
milder
but-
winters.
One thing I do want to bring up is that how, I was talking about this the other day with somebody, is how, as a little kid, I don't remember, as a little kid, I do remember not giving a shit about the weather the way I do now. I remember thinking, these adults, all these people talk about is the fucking weather.
Yeah.
And now I'm an adult and I get it. That's all we have. As a kid, it didn't matter if it was cold. You go inside, there's snacks and TV.
That's all you
and
need.
cartoons, and you were so happy. Whatever you were doing, if it was cloudy outside, you still go out playing. It didn't matter because kids are just happier people, and adults need that weather.
I don't know. I mean, I think that it's fine if it's hot if you're not stuck in Manhattan.
But that's a different point you're making. I'm making the point about kids versus adults and
But
weather.
first you were talking about the weather. Then
The
you
weather.
veered off.
I veered off because.
Why do people live in New York City? That was the thing. I didn't.
Yes, but I was really just trying to get to my point.
Okay.
About
kids are happier than adults.
kids don't give a shit about the weather. And
Yeah,
as an
I think
adult,
that's
all
true.
everybody's talking about the weather all
Yeah,
the time.
kids do not.
I
give a
remember I was
shit
like,
about
"Oh, what a beautiful day! Why are you inside?" As
Yeah.
a kid, what are you doing
Yeah.
inside? It's a beautiful day. And I was like,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
like it inside too.
Yeah, that's true. You like it inside and outside.
Because the TV's not because the TV's inside. And I didn't, and a beautiful day didn't mean that much. I mean, it just. I get little kids are never like, what a gorgeous day. What a little kid ever said? Whoa, what a gorgeous day! Oh my God. They never say it. They just, they're playing kickball. If it's cloudy, if it's sunny, don't make a difference. We're playing kickball and we're fucking stoked.
And in the winter too, when it's freezing out, they don't care.
They don't care. Yeah,
They don't care. They're
I don't think I loved it.
Didn't bother you that
But
much.
it didn't
though.
bother me that much because, I'm going to go inside and there's going to be snacks, and and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
There's going to be the 4:30 movie on Channel 7,
Is that
which which you'll only remember if you're from the New York area and you grew up in the 70s. But there was a 4:30 movie, and every week would be a different week. Like would be like Planet of the Apes week, Monster Week.
And you didn't know what it was, or you had the TV guide.
I don't remember. We never had the TV Guide. TV Guide was a magazine that you bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have a subscription to TV Guide. We had the TV Guide from the newspaper.
So how did you know what? Like the TV Guide was a magazine.
Well, TV Guide was a magazine that you had a subscription to TV Guide.
Okay.
But you'd also have the TV. You call it the TV Guide, just like you call something Kleenex, even if it's not Kleenex brand.
Okay.
But it was like the newspaper. The
that's
Sunday
what I'm
paper.
that's
had
what
the
I'm
TV
talking about.
for the week.
So it had the list of
It had
all
the
of
list
the
of
TV
all the
shows
shows,
and
yes.
all of the channels.
And all the channels and all the TVs for the week.
Yeah.
Back in those days.
Was this? It was. I don't even know that there were remote controls yet. Were there?
Well, probably. My cousin Arthur always had the latest shit. You know, and he had a remote control, like, you know, maybe in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But we never had that.
You had to get up and turn
You had to get
the
up and
channel.
turn the channel. Yeah, you had to get up and turn the channel.
And there were commercials,
Yeah.
and you couldn't.
You couldn't scroll past the commercial.
Right.
Yeah, and you had to, and if you missed it, you missed it.
That's right.
If you missed a show, that was the end of it. You didn't see that. I mean, you know, if you missed the Wizard of Oz, the one time a year that the Wizard of Oz aired, that was it.
That was
You didn't
it.
see the Wizard of Oz till next year. Now,
Where's Arthur now?
he died.
Oh
He's
God, Dan.
Well, he was not my first cousin. He was my mother's cousin's husband.
Okay.
So
Okay, so he was elderly. It wasn't like
no, he died relatively young. He was about 71, 70. He died years ago. But relatively young.
that is relatively.
Yeah, I mean, well, it seems young to me now. When if I was a kid, I would have been like, he got a good run.
right.
But
Now it's not that.
now
far
it's not that
up.
far.
Yeah.
No, I remember as a kid, this guy in my neighborhood got in a car accident and died. He was like 66 or something.
Yeah.
I remember talking to my father. I was probably 15. I said, well, yeah, it's sad, but I mean, you know, he was 66. And my father was horrified. He was like, whoa, what do you think, a 66-year-old, you know, is ready to, I mean, yeah, I remember it very, very vividly. Very vividly, that memory of me just, 66. I mean, come on, you know.
Ancient.
What the hell is he hanging around anyway?
Oh my God.
But that's, you know, when you're that age. But I do think there was something about seeing a movie like The Wizard of Oz would come on once a year, and it was a big deal, and everybody was watching it. The next day at school, did you see The Wizard of Oz last night? I think there was some. I don't think it was. You know, I'm not going to say that it was better. I do think that there was something to it that was better.
Yeah.
Overall, is it better now? I don't know. Are people happier now because we can listen to any song we want and watch any TV show we want? Are we really happier? Objectively, it seems like it's better. How could it not be? But I don't know.
No, I don't think people are happier now because of that.
Well,
I think you're happy. And first of all, you don't know any different back then. It's not like
Right.
It's not like
Yes.
back then you were like, oh, do I want to watch The Wizard of Oz once a year?
I know, but
or
what's
do
the point of technological progress if it doesn't make people happier?
Well, that's a very good, fair.
And so the question is,
interesting
are
question.
people happier?
No, I don't think people are happier.
You know, because we just can gorge on all the shit we want to watch. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to compare because I was a kid, so I was going to be happier anyway. Because I was a kid, and the weight of the world had not yet.
Dawn's.
You know, was not on my shoulders, but
Is the weight of the world on your shoulders?
yeah,
a little
to a
bit.
large extent. Yeah.
Oh, I think that
but-
the salient point here is that you didn't know the difference, though. Like, so,
Yes,
so
but just because you didn't know the difference.
you didn't
know-
know you were. The idea
I
is
know
that you're
that,
missing
but-
out, right? Like,
Well,
that's
but you can still be. You can. It's like I don't think that's the whole equation. I
Okay.
think things can make. You know, they didn't know the difference when they didn't have when their kids were dying of scarlet fever and smallpox.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were. I do think that's an improvement.
Yes.
That your kids aren't dropping dead
Yes.
of smallpox and scarlet fever, and I think people probably are
happier
because
yes.
of that.
Yes. Okay.
I
okay.
guess
That's like a
I don't know.
crazy
Well, but no,
example.
yes, an
though.
extreme example to illustrate the point that technology can make our lives objectively better.
Some technology.
The question is whether this particular technology, the streaming of everything, is making our lives objectively better. I don't know.
You said, is it making people happier?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by making your life better. I guess being happier, which is sort of like the whole notion. The
I
whole
don't
point.
know. Does it make you happier? Are you happy to be able to
Well,
watch like every single episode of, I don't know, what show do you like that you can watch it whenever you want to watch
Well,
it?
I'm not as much into that anymore. But like, it's cool that I can just if I listen to any song I want.
Okay, so then the answer is
But I don't.
probably-
Because there's no control group. There's no me at this age without all that stuff.
Well, if you had
The
to
only
go to
control
Tower
group is
Records,
me 20 years ago.
But if you had to go to Tower Records now,
well, but going to the record store was also an experience.
That's what I'm saying is that you'd probably be.
I used to go there just to hang out.
Yeah.
and listen. They had the listening station.
Yeah, so you would probably still go there, and it wouldn't bother you that much.
Yeah,
because
well,
you wouldn't know.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, well,
I'm doing the Borscht Belt Comedy Festival.
oh, okay. I did that a couple years ago, I guess.
How was it?
It was good. Yeah, it was in Ellenville. Was it?
Yeah. I've never been there. Did you ever perform
it
in
with,
the Catskills?
Well, I did that gig. Yeah.
No, I mean like back in the day.
Well, back in the day, it was like the 50s.
Not that back in the day.
I've done some bungalow colonies.
Yeah.
Up there. But it's not like, the heyday back when, Kutchers and Grossingers
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And
Although I used to go there as a kid.
Back when, but even when you were a kid, it was well past the heyday.
Yes, that's
The heyday
correct.
was like the 50s and
Yeah.
the 60s when people went there to get out of the heat.
Yeah.
Talk about the heat. But I guess with air travel, I guess air travel killed the Catskills. I'm not sure what killed the Catskills. I'm not sure.
What killed the Catskills? That's a great something.
I think it was air travel, and
Well, there were air.
maybe air conditioning. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe air travel killed it. I'm not exactly sure. But people would go to the Catskills because it was hot in the city. They wanted to get out of the city.
And it was mostly wealthy people or wealthier people, right?
I don't know. I don't really know much about the Catskills. That was again before my time.
Okay, well,
And maybe the interstate highway system. I don't know.
all right.
I'm spitballing. here.
We can report back next
Okay.
week with a little bit more research. We're doing another show next week.
Okay. Well, we'll try to come up with more topics. If we can't, maybe we'll have a guest.
Maybe.
All right. So I guess that wraps it up for this. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to have a sensible meal, sensible portions. Podcast at comedycellar.com. Let us know what you think about this episode. This was a different episode than the Noam based episodes, obviously. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.